മന്ത്രി കിരൺ റിജിജു ഇപ്പോൾ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾക്ക് മറുപടി നൽകുകയാണ്.
Schemes and also they created jobs, and not only they have become independent, they have supported other family members, and in some cases they have supported many other youths in the surrounding area. So that way, I think once we take care of certain components, Kerala has the potential to get the maximum benefits.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, in your speech, you made a mention about the development, the nature of the development. You made a mention about the nature of the development in Kerala. You said it's mostly people-driven and not a credit to any governments, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know that a good political atmosphere is very necessary for any state to improve. So, but unfortunately, so the discussion should happen in Parliament also. But unfortunately, what we have been seeing recently is the constant disruption of the sessions. So, yeah, Parliament sessions. So there are allegations that, yeah, both of you can answer. There are allegations that even the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, is not being allowed to speak. So my question is, shouldn't this situation change? Is it not the responsibility of the government to, to make it better, to improve?
Well, definitely, see, first of all, let me make my position very clear. In the Parliament, if there are lots of issues confronting and lots of differences amongst political parties, it is good. Parliamentary democracy has to be very noisy, sometimes messy. Otherwise, we are not a dictatorial nation where only one party rule and rest are silent. It cannot happen. We are a parliamentary democracy. Our parliament will be noisy always, and we will always see disruptions also. The only thing is, my position, which I always take is, even if there are issues, but parliament must function. Parliament must do its business. With regards to the opposition accusation against the government and government's counter accusation, this will keep happening. Because my position and my understanding is different from K.C. Venugopal's understanding. For example, you mentioned about leader of opposition not being able to speak. The point is well taken. He has to get the priority. He has to get the opportunity. The point of contention was, we were making a point that you cannot quote on something which the book has not been published. But the opposition's take is different. So these differences will remain. But I will personally try to see that the second part of the budget session runs better than the first part. But it runs. In the first part also, it's not that the entire session is washed out. The only thing is, when there is disruption, it is more reported. When the House functions normally, it is not reported. So it is not that the House doesn't function. But second part, I want to see more output. He is the critical man here, sitting here from Congress party. We will try to talk. We keep meeting in a business advisory committee meeting and privately also. We will try to have more output, because second part of budget session will be more critical, because it will be devoted to discussion. First part is presentation, president address and budget presentation, budget discussion. Second part is discussion on demands of grants of various ministries. Then there will be, government will bring maybe some bills, and there will be finance bill, which is critical. It has to be passed. So I'm very hopeful that our second part of the budget session will be more productive.
So what's your point, sir? Is it that the opposition leaders are not following the rules of the parliament? Is that what you are?
No, what I'm saying is, the position a party takes is different from the position which the other party takes. Even in the opposition party also, there may be differences. Even in the government also, amongst the ministers also, we differ on points. But at the end of the day, what happens on the floor of the House, that is important. So my point is, even if we have differences, Parliament must function. That is the key point.
Sri K.C. Venugopal, what's your take on this?
This is a very interesting question, actually. The parliament, Indian parliament is one of the model parliament of the world. The parliament, basically, parliament means the place of debate and discussions. Of course, there will be differences. If everybody have only one opinion, what is the point of discussing this? The point is that when we used to tell that parliament, government has to weigh, opposition has to say. This is the mixture of the parliament. But with the due respect to our parliamentary minister, I have to say that the say for opposition is not happening these days at all. He spoke about that when a leader of opposition spoke about it. Honorable Minister, Honorable Defense Minister, Honorable Home Minister, all are intervened. That is good in democracy. I think so. Intervening debate is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But the rules which they quote is 349. As per 349, you cannot quote books, articles, magazines, unless it is not the part of the current business of the house. What was the current business of that house? Discussion on Thanksgiving motion to the President of India's speech. President of India's speech, she spoke about internal security. She spoke about defense preparedness. Everything she spoke. When leader of opposition raised the issue of internal security, defense, which is very, very pertinent, which happened in India-China border, that point of time, when an ex-chief of an army wrote a black book, there is a dispute which is not published or whether it is published or not published. We got the books from Amazon only. Basically, we got the books from Amazon only. But there is a dispute, I agree. But leader of opposition again corrected it. I am not quoting the book. I am quoting the magazine only. Then also, speaker ruled, you cannot quote magazine also. Then he told, I am not quoting the book, I am not quoting the magazine, but as a leader of opposition, I am telling that there are reports that this is happening. That point of time, his mic is switched off. As per Shakhtar and Kaul, which is actually a Bible of Indian parliamentary democracy, which we seems to be think. Shakhtar and Kaul is very clear. Leader of opposition has a separate place in parliamentary democracy, especially in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. He is a shadow prime minister. The book is telling very clearly, he is the leader of opposition, a shadow prime minister, who is having the complete freedom to check the government. But nowadays, I am sorry to say to Kiren Rijiju, the rules have been completely misused and the system has been completely misused. Whenever an opposition voice, this is not only for opposition leader only, other opposition leaders are also complaining the same thing. Whenever I am raising a point of order, I will not get mic. Whenever government side, whomever is waking up, certainly mic will on. I don't know what is the mesmerism between that. This is a clear-cut concern for all of us.
But I think there was some difference of opinion in the opposition team about how to put this on in parliament during the after the budget. Trinamool had such.
Where is the difference of opinion? I didn't see any difference of opinion. Everybody was together. Okay. On these issues, everybody was together. This is not a way of difference of opinion. When their member also speaking, as a member of parliament, as a leader of the political party, they have the right to speak in the parliament. Yeah. Then government can reply for everything. The time is with them, system is with them. Whatever, even if it is an allegation, They can completely clear the allegation through the reply. But this is not happening. This is what my complaint.
Okay. Now, Krishna, you have a question, right?
Yeah. Good afternoon, Minister. I'm Krishna Charyan, Business Editor, 24 News. So I wish to ask a question related to that only, because I want to avoid a political question. Okay, so every year, following the budget presentation, there are discussions regarding the adequacy of funds allotted to our state, Kerala. And this year too, okay. Can you hear now? Okay, sir. My question is, every year following the budget presentations, there are discussions regarding the adequacy of funds allotted to Kerala. So this year too, the same concerns had been raised from different corners because limited fund availability that is reducing or hindering the growth of the state. And I know you love Kerala Sadhya.
I am 24. This is 24.
He won't be able to tell. Now, if you cut from agriculture, then the agrarian crisis will remain so. If you cut it from the food for the poor people, the poor people will die hungry. If you cut the funds from water resources, the water supply will be disrupted. If you cut from the Jal Shakti, the drinking water supply will be disrupted. So in a situation like where India is today, our budget is limited, as I had mentioned in my address, that with a limited budget, with the limited resources, of course, we are now collecting almost 7-8 times more revenue than what K.C. Venugopal's party left at that time. It's a natural, because now it's growing faster. After GST, our revenue generation has increased multifold. So we are able to generate more revenues, thereby giving more funds. For example, the last UPA budget, the capital expenditure was below 2 lakh crore. Now the capital expenditure is 12.5 lakh crore. So it has increased that much. So merely saying that this sector has received less money or this state has received less money, it may not be appropriate if you don't see through the entire budget. Now Bihar will say more funds should be given to Bihar. Punjab will say Punjab should get more funds. They will justify it. In a similar manner, if Kerala requires more fund, it is 100% justified to seek more fund. But the question is, the budget is a balanced exercise within the available resources, which is to be equitably distributed among all the required sector. So that is why it is not that Kerala has not received fund. Now, if you listen to the railway minister, then if you leave aside politics, then you will be excited. The railway minister will tell you that Kerala has received 20 times more fund than what Congress government time had allocated to Kerala. In a similar way, if you ask from the fishery department or the MSME department, you will see that Kerala has received more than what it had received in 2014. So that is how the things have changed. And obviously I belong to a state, Arunachal Pradesh. My state has received now almost 50 times more than that time because the revenue has increased. Central government has more capacity to give more money. But then you have to see from a very broad angle and you have to understand the budget in totality. However, as I said, there is always a revised estimate. If Kerala needs more money, it will be given more money. But then it has to be as per the requirement. Of course, Venugopal.
ലോകത്തെവിടെയായാലും ഏത് സമയത്തും 24 വാർത്തകളും ഓഗ്മെന്റഡ് റിയാലിറ്റി പാക്കേജുകളും എക്സ്പ്ലെയിനറുകളും വിശദമായി കാണാൻ ഞങ്ങളുടെ യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യാം.